This conference will now be recorded.
So yesterday we were discussing and on the AWS global infrastructure and why we should study AWS, right? And we also discussed the core concepts of like regions, availability zones, and so on, right? Isn't it? And we also saw how a AWS management console will look like. And we also discussed this part how AWS will name their regions based on the that is continents, right? Like if it is in Asia continent, that is named as Asia Pacific. So this is what where we stopped in the yesterday session. All right. So any doubt, guys, so far? And we also discussed like what are availability zones and regions, and what will be the distance between each data center or availability zones. We have discussed these concepts, right? So any doubts regarding this? And I had shared also, so local zone also we discussed. And okay, so now, so let me, okay, you are all able to see my screen. Okay, so now let us go little further, right? So now we know why we have to study AWS. Now let us concentrate on what are the various types of services or various types of uh, models, cloud. What would I, in other words, we can say, what are the different types of cloud solutions provided by AWS? Okay, so just a second.
This conference will now be recorded.
So let me share my screen. So now before we go ahead, I'm going to take a few common questions which I've been asked, right, from in my first batch. Okay, so these are some of the common questions asked by many students. Okay, so they keep on asking. So I will take up these question and answers today, right? So the first question is they ask me is, does cloud computing requires coding knowledge? So the answer is no. You don't require any coding knowledge like C, C++, Java, or anything sort of that. Okay, to learn cloud computing. Okay, but if yes, if you are aware of the scripting knowledge, so scripting knowledge is basically you should know where and when you have to use some sort of already pre-written scripts. So that is more than sufficient, which will be taught in this course. Okay. Now the other thing is some many people ask me, can I shift from BCom, BBM, MBA to IT? Yes, definitely. Irrespective of any education background, you can jump to IT. But of course, there are some companies, MNC companies, they will restrict to only BE, information science or something like that, or computer science background. But there are many companies who don't look into the education concerns. Okay, and the third question they asked me is, can I shift from non-CS background? So already I have answered. So whether BCom, BBA, MBA or non-CS, that is computer science background, they can also shift into IT industry. Okay, if you practice well, the whatever you have 4 years of 6 years of experience as non-IT industry, you can out of 6 years you can mention 2 years you have worked on cloud knowledge, and you can easily crack the interview. So does anyone have any doubts in these three questions? Right. And the next question is, will I be a fresher in cloud computing? And this is the most common question. So I already told you, right? So there are some companies who don't, think that you are from a civil background, you have worked as a mechanical engineer. some company will consider you as a fresher. Okay, it is up to you. That decision is in your court, whether how you want to practice and how you want to portray your resume. Okay, but yes, if you don't showcase you have worked as a 2 years experience, then they will certainly consider you as a fresher. But you can showcase yourself as a 2 years experience guy, as a AWS and DevOps engineer, and definitely they will consider you as an experienced person. Clear? Next question. Okay, we'll go to the next. So, mean some of the people who ask me who are already in IT industry, they ask that can I switch from development or testing roles to cloud? So the answer is yes. So there is no barrier that if you are a testing, so you have to be in testing, or there is no barrier that if you are in development, you can be in development. No, it is either way around. You first start your career as a DevOps engineer, and then later also you can, along with DevOps, you can get into development and testing also. Okay, and they can also, along with development, they can also learn AWS and cloud. Now actually nowadays they have made it mandatory. See, because nowadays all the applications are migrating to cloud computing, then definitely developers have to start coding with respect to cloud computing in their mind, because all those applications will be deployed in the cloud. So they have to get used to the cloud terminology. So that is the one way. Okay. So that means yes, definitely they can switch, and you can also switch here if you are in development or testing roles. Next, can I get a job in cloud if I have a career gap? Definitely, if you have a career gap also, you can get it. Okay, so some company they will not look into your career gaps or other things. You can definitely make a career, but you have to practice a lot, and uh, you have to complete the task whatever is been given to you. Okay, and this is the most common question: can I learn AWS and DevOps in 2 months? Yes, definitely. We have been doing that from many batches. If you practice on a day-to-day basis, and we'll be providing you the recording also. From today onwards, I will be sharing you the link where all the recordings will be uploaded, so you can go through whenever you want at your fingertips. Okay, and definitely if you practice on a day-to-day basis and complete all the assignments, and definitely you can not only learn within 3 months from now, you can also have a offer letter that we have already seen in my previous batches. Okay, next, what is the scope of cloud computing in the next 5 to 10 years? So now people think that, okay, now I am jumping from non-IT to IT, then what will be the future? Will this be, out of trend, like that? No. So this will not be a out of trend. The reason being is cloud is the present, the past, and the, I mean, past we had also cloud computing, but now this is the present and the future. So I would say not only 5 to 10 years, it will be there until 20 plus years. So that is my assumption. Okay, and prediction also. Clear? Because yesterday only I explained you guys that AWS is are there from the year 2002. They started this journey from 2002, that is 20 years they have already completed, and 12 years they have bagged the number one cloud provider award. So these are all indication that this is going to flourish, and there is no turning back, and nobody will go back from cloud computing to other things. Of course there will be some more enhancements in the cloud, which we will you and me have to learn, keep learning, and learning is continuous in this domain. Okay, in IT, whatever might be the domain, you have to learn continuous. Okay, you need to keep upgrading yourself, so that is the mantra. Okay, next, please share information on global certification. Yeah, so this is very, very important. So let me go through this, because you should know all this information. Now, this is the certification, right? So what do you mean by certification? So certification means you have to give exam, and you have to purchase that exam from by paying $150 to the AWS. I think now it is $175. Okay, so this is something, it will be based on MCQ based questions, and it will be like 300 some 200 minutes is there. So you have to give the examination, and once you are thorough, okay, see it will be like this: multiple choice questions and multiple responses. Okay, and you will be, you know, examined on these topics: domain, design structure, resilient architecture. So these things they will be, testing your knowledge, and if you score well, they are going to certify you as a AWS certified engineer. Okay, you're getting it. So these are all the certification. So global certificate, but trust me, I don't recommend for you to go with the certification right now, because what I suggest is to focus on your cloud knowledge and get more hands on, get more knowledge, and then once you are expertise, then only if and required. See, some companies will ask, once you join the company, there might be having some requirements to showcase their company that we have so many certified engineers. So in that case they will also give you money to do the certification. But as of now, my answer is no, it's not required. Certification is not required. Okay, but it will give you a weightage to your resume, of course. But it doesn't mean that if you have a certificate they will directly hire you. No, you have to be cracking the interview. So that is the reason, first focus on the knowledge, and then later part we'll see about the global certification. Next, what is the difference between, so yesterday also I have taken it. So difference between AWS, Azure and GCP is that it is, they are all same. These three are companies which provide rental services of the servers, but backend technology is one and the same, but the naming convention is different. Okay, now this is very very important questions for this, like what is the salary structure. So salary structure is, you for freshers you will get like for 3.5 lakhs to 6 lakhs CTC, and for the experienced professionals you may get up to, say for 2 years you may get 8 lakhs to 11 13 lakhs, up to 13 lakhs you will get it. Okay, so my last batch student, she has secured 11 lakh CTC. Okay, and my last batch student, so she has got an offer of 11 lakh. Okay, and with, she has achieved this within 3 months of her training. In the she joined in the September batch, and now she is already placed. So this is the, if you dedicate, definitely you will be placed. So there is no a question about that. 100% guaranteed, but 100% effort you also put. Okay, next we have come to the last set of questions. Does MTT, that is Mithun Tech Training, provide hands-on practice? Yes. So as I told you initially, only this week it will be theory based, and you may feel it is boring. Okay, but this is these are all very very necessary for your understanding and for your career. Okay, but from next Monday onwards it will be completely hands-on practical experience. There won't be any slides. There will be only, I'll be doing the labs, and you can start, side by side, or after the session also you can do. Okay, and you already know, so I am a AWS and DevOps engineer, so I have close to 10 years of experience. So yes, we are industry experts. Okay, and why do we recommend AWS and DevOps? This I have already explained it to you yesterday. The reason is very simple. We recommend DevOps because AWS is very very popular, and DevOps because this is in great demand. Together, AWS and DevOps, you can definitely get a job. Okay, so these are some of the questions which are repeatedly asked, right? So any further doubt, guys, please ask me. Hello, hello, guys, you there? Kumar,
I have no
Chinmay, any
doubts.
doubts? Okay, you
No
have
doubts,
no
Smith.
doubts. Okay, anybody else?
between AWS and DevOps?
Sorry.
I mean, what is the difference between AWS and DevOps? Are both different?
Yes, both are difference.
Okay.
See, difference in the sense AWS is a cloud technology and DevOps is a culture. Okay. So DevOps is
Okay.
basically you will have lot of tools involved. Okay. You're getting the point.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you will have lot of tools involved, right? And that you will make use of those tools to automate the stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Clear?
Okay. Does Microsoft Azure and GCP also has DevOps?
Yes. So DevOps is something you can integrate with any cloud for that matter. You can include with GCP and other things.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Okay,
Yes.
sir.
So now let us go further.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So uh, on the yesterday's continuation on cloud computing, this is just a definition that the cloud computing is a group of remote servers which are accessed via internet. Okay. But that is the actual meaning, in the sense that you are all accessing the compute power, servers, storage, or anything related to IT over the internet. Okay. Now, cloud computing is of three types. First one is public, the second one is private, and the third one is hybrid. So we are going to talk about all the three types of cloud. Okay. So the first type is public. So public means, as the term itself says, it is com available to all the general public. Okay. So that is the meaning of public cloud. So in the public cloud, the major players are AWS, Azure, and GCP. And of course, there are others like DigitalOcean, Alibaba Cloud, and etc. Then what is this private cloud? See, private cloud, how it has came is, so in the beginning I told you that how the data centers are maintained in the early days, isn't it? So if you have to, so some big companies, like in the early days, like big companies like IBM, HP, then Sun Systems, so they had a money power, so they have set up their own data centers, isn't it? But if all are going to the cloud computing, then their business will also go, right? So what they have done is they have developed their own cloud. So they have not gone with AWS or Azure or GCP. They have gone out with their own cloud computing development platforms. Okay. Say for example, I can give you is OpenStack, so which is provided by Red Hat. So that is suitable for private cloud. OpenShift, OpenStack, right? And so say there are some more players. Okay, so private cloud is that type of cloud which you can integrate in your existing data center, and you can leverage the power of cloud computing. That's it. There is no major difference. See, in the back end, some or the other has to maintain the data center, but in the case of public cloud, the people from AWS, they are going to manage it for you. Okay, but in case of private, again there will be someone who is from the company itself who is going to take care, but on top of that they are going to use this as a cloud in order to save some cost at least. Okay. Now then, what is this hybrid? So hybrid means in some scenarios you cannot migrate the entire workload on the public cloud. So in some cases you will keep some critical application in your office data centers, and some of the application you will move to AWS, right? So that is the meaning of hybrid. That is where the public cloud and the private cloud both are connected with one another. So that is the meaning of hybrid cloud. So is this clear? The difference between public, private and hybrid cloud? Any doubts?
No matter.
Okay. Okay. So think that private means it is private network. That's it. Means it is only for your organizational use. Not others will be able to access. Okay. Next. And of course, I will share these PPTs with you. You can go through later. Okay. So then next is now coming to the platforms. Okay. Now, what are the different types of cloud service platforms provided by any cloud provider? Okay, so there are commonly three types of platform they are providing. That is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and a software as a service. You're getting it? So there are three types. What are they? Infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and what is the other one? It is a software as a service. So we'll explore one by one. Okay. So software as a service means now this is a overview. So that is what I was telling you, right? So that is why they call cloud computing, because in order to provide you a server rent on a rental basis, these are the applications main involved. See, it requires network, it requires database, it requires some runtime, it requires queuing system, it requires communication, finances, collaboration, identity, object storage, compute devices, then monitoring. So these things they are all maintained, someone is maintaining for you, but we are enjoying the compute power. So that is why they have used it as a cloud. Okay, that means it is invisible. So this is very very important, meaning they are all maintaining us for us, but which is not visible. You can use the compute power, but that physical server you cannot see. So that is the meaning of invisible here. Got the idea? So now going to the infrastructure as a service, right? So this we have already covered. Okay, and coming to the infrastructure as service, just a second. Mm, okay, so the next is we are going to go further deep. Like I told you, right? We are going to discuss on some of the other fundamental topics. Okay, so right. So why again? So 24 bar 7 support. So if you go with the cloud computing, right? So anytime you can log a ticket and they will be there to help you out. Okay, and pay as you use only for the number of hours. And this is very very important. TCO means lower TCO, that is total cost of ownership. Please note this point. So these are interview based concepts. Okay, lower total cost of ownership. TCO means total cost of ownership. Then reliability, scalability, and sustainability means you can rely on this cloud computing. It is scalable. Scalable means today you can launch a 8 GB server, tomorrow you can launch 16 GB server, no question asked. And sustainability means the data, your data will be very very secure. Okay, and secure storage management, So there are different types of storage management. Okay, so we are going to explore each one of them. Okay, then lower capital expenditure, so almost it is zero, this is zero. Okay, and highly automated, so automated in the sense very less manual intervention is required. Okay, then frees up internal resources, so internal resources means so you can less focus on the maintenance of the hardware. Okay, and utility based means it is all based on the app based or a web based application based. Okay, and easy, it is very easy to learn and deploy anything. Okay, so these are some of the benefits. Okay, now let us go further. Okay, so actually if you see in the picture, Amazon is basically a e-retail company, so they were managing the software like this. I mean, software along with the these kind of racks. But sometimes what they noticed was they were not using all the resources. Say for example, you purchased a 16 GB laptop. Okay, so will you use the laptop 24 bar 7? No. Until and unless you are an IT employee also will use it for 9 hours maximum, not more than that. What about remaining 9 plus 6, that is 15 hours? It is waste, right? So nobody was using the hardware for 24 bar 7. That is one scenario. The other scenario is, suppose same case, whether you purchase, you purchase a 16 GB laptop. Whether am I utilizing full 16 GB? No, I want my computer laptop to be super fast. I have purchased 16 GB, but whether I am using the whole entire 16 GB? No, right? So this is called, please note this technical word, this is called over provisioning. Please note this point, over provisioning. Over provisioning means provisioning of a server more than the required number of resources. For example, your requirement is only 4 or 8 GB, you have configured double 16 GB. So that is called over provisioning. Another scenario, suppose you need a 16 GB, but you have to save cost or something, you have ordered only 8 GB, so that is called as under provisioning. What this is known as under provisioning. Okay, so Amazon also facing this type of problems, so they had an idea that to rent out the servers to the some of the developers. So in this way they are now a big giant in the cloud industry. Okay, so they initially started to rent out these servers to the developers, then later it became a history. Okay, now this is a, see, this is the AWS global infrastructure and the networking. Okay, so infrastructure as a service means the AWS going to take care of the AWS global infrastructure, that is the hardware, and they are going to take care of the networking, but we are going to take care of compute, storage and databases. Please note this point. This first and the second stage, it is going to take care by the AWS. In the infrastructure as a service platform, I'll show you another diagram also. Just a second. So let me Google here. You'll get an idea. So yes. So as you can see here, so this is the first one. As you can see here, the blue indicates you manage, isn't it? So networking we have to manage, storage we have to manage, server we have to manage, virtualization we have to manage, operating system we have to manage, everything. Middleware, runtime, data application, everything you have to manage. That is called as total cost of ownership. But with infrastructure as a service, the networking, storage, servers, virtualization, they are going to maintain it for you. You don't have to worry at all. You just need to choose which operating system, whether you want to go with Windows, or whether you are going to go with Linux, and then middleware runtime data application. So this is the meaning of infrastructure as a service, and this is the most popular service. Okay, so this diagram you should always remember. Then what is PaaS, platform as a service? Here you manage only two things: application and data. So the runtime, middleware, OS, virtualization, server, storage, and networking, they are all going to be managed by AWS. Okay, so the PaaS, the best option is Elastic Beanstalk, Heroku, and Red Hat OpenShift. Okay, so Beanstalk we are going to cover. I will let you know how how it will work, so you will understand. Okay. Next is your SaaS. SaaS, you don't maintain anything. You are just an end user. So SaaS, you will get many examples. So like Google Drive is there. You are a SaaS user. Gmail is there. See, Salesforce, Dropbox, Google Apps. See, these are all example of soft SaaS. See, in the back end, Google Drive is also hosted on some of the servers, but which you are not managing. Somebody else is managing, but we are leveraging that power. And trust me, Google Drive is also a storage service, which is provided by AWS. We have similar service. Yesterday, some of you were asking what is S3. I told you simple storage service. It is nothing but the Google Drive. You are just uploading the data, right? So you might have seen me, storing some data in Google Drive. So this is a storage service which they have named it as a drive. It is their wish. They have named it as a Google Drive. But in AWS, the same concept, it is known as simple storage service. As simple as that. Clear? So that is the meaning of this. I have already covered yesterday. Okay. So this is the meaning of data center. So this is one region, and these are some of the 4 data centers or availability zones in one region. Okay. And there are many clients which are using the AWS, like we have Reddit. Okay, big companies. And I also showed you one article which was showing that government of India, they are also using the AWS for the vaccination drive. Okay, so it is on demand, uniform, pay as you go. Okay, and as you can see, if you this is the capacity. So this is, so if you purchase a laptop, your capacity will be like this. See, once you purchase a 16 GB laptop, whether you use it or not, it will be like this, no? But in your IT needs, it is not like this. It is based on this curve only you will pay. Suppose if you are not paying for 1 month, your cost will be zero. So that is what these graphs will represent. Okay. So with AWS, you can on and off as per the requirements. You can grow with AWS. Okay, and you can start with one instance to thousands within minutes. Okay, so that is why preferably I also loved cloud, and many people are also migrating to cloud computing. Okay, so as I told you, if you have to buy a hardware through company, it will take weeks or sometimes month to get one IT infrastructure. Trust me, because it is very headache. If you want to get a PO means purchase order for any of the matter in the IT industry, it is a headache. You need to get lot of approvals. You have to first start from your manager, then it will go to the finance. Then finance, one it has approval, there will be 3 layers of approval. Then after finance, it will go to the internal audit team. So there are a lot of headaches are there. But with cloud computing, it is an instant. You can launch any number of servers like within minutes. Okay. So in the service overview, we are going to cover the AWS VPC. We are going to start with the networking services first, because that is the backbone for any cloud computing organization or any cloud computing platforms. So we are going to first start with the basics of networking, like what is an IP address, what what is the structure, how to create an say a CIDR range. So all these things we are going to discuss. Okay. So EC2 we are going to cover. Okay. And I was telling you right yesterday, I told you that AWS Direct Connect is a dedicated channel between AWS and your office. So this is what I wanted to convey. Okay. It is a private connection. Please note this point. It is not over the internet. This is a dedicated connection between your office network to the Amazons. Okay. Route 53, it is a DNS service which we are going to cover. EC2 auto scaling load balancing which we are going to cover. EBS is a like storage, like hard disk you can consider. Amazon S3, it is a like just now I compared with Google Drive. You can consider S3 Glacier. It is a again one of the classes in S3 which we are going to cover. And storage gateway is like getting the data from your office to the AWS S3 buckets. So these are we are going to cover. RDS again it is a databases. Okay. And DynamoDB, Elasticsearch, these are another type of database service which are AWS providing, but we are going to focus only on Amazon RDS. Okay. Then we are going to focus on CloudFront. Okay. In the application services, so out of three we are going to focus on CloudFront for the content delivery. Okay. And for the big data service, see, for these are all again specialized services which will be covered in AWS specialty exams and specialty roadmap. Okay. So we are not going to cover the big data services. And for the deployment, we are not going to use AWS Opworks and CloudFormation and Beanstalk. Rather than we are going to integrate with DevOps. This is where in this picture the DevOps will come into the picture. Okay. And after that we are going to talk about IAM, that is identity and access management. And then we are going to for monitoring we are going to use CloudWatch, we are going to cover, and CloudTrail for tracking, meaning which who has logged in and what he or she has done. We are for that we are going to use CloudTrail. And next we are going to see on workspaces. Okay. And we are all going to the demo. Okay. Okay, so you may think that, so let me go to show you one quick demo that you may think he's from 3 days he's telling within minutes you can. I will show you one live demo that without me logging into the server I will show you a fully functional one web server, and with that URL you can access some dummy application. Okay, and that too within minutes you will see it. Okay, so just wait and watch how I will achieve it. Okay, so let me log into my AWS management console, and I'm going to log in. And this is your username and password like we give it in Gmail. So once you are authenticated, you will be logged inside the AWS management console, and you can go inside. So I'm going to the EC2 section, and I'm going to click on launch an instance. So I'm going to name it as demo application. Okay. and I'm going to keep it as it is. I'm going to see, we'll explore all these things in detail, but for now this is just a demo. Okay, don't get confused. So this is just a demo. Okay, and I'm just going to, so I was explaining you right in the beginning. So I have a developer, he has developed some application, so I'm going to get that application code from my developer. Okay, so that I have saved it in the this application. Okay, so let me show you this, and let me come back here. I'm just going to copy paste, that's it. I'm not going to do anything, the script will do it for me, and that's just click, that's it. So as you can see, everything is automated, and it says succeeded, and we'll just wait and watch. And just copy this, I'm going to paste it in the chat so that you can go through this, and you can also try to access. So you can access this. How you can access? Just click on this, it will open up an URL, and of course it is not coming up now because it will take some time, because we have just provisioned the server. So let me try to refresh. Okay, what is the user data? It is php info.php, right? So you have to access like this. So sorry, php info dot, what happened? Just a minute. So guys, you can see, right? So now some PHP application, within minutes it is ready in front of me. So this is the power of cloud computing. Okay, so you can access like this PHP. So it will go to the php.net and all those things. It is PHP is one of the powerful scripting knowledge. Okay, so this is our working application, and you don't want to go continue, so you can immediately terminate. Nobody will ask you any question. So that is the meaning of on demand, guys. So on demand you can do anything, create anything, and you can delete anything. Okay, clear guys? Any doubts you can ask me. Guys, no doubt? Okay, so I'm going to next we are going to start with the. I'll just give you a light overview. Okay, I'm not going to start today itself. I'm going to start with the IP addressing basics. Okay. Okay, I will share this with you later. Uh, just a second. Okay, basic networking will start. I'll just give a light overview and I will share this document and you have to read entire these things. Okay. Okay. See, in a computing network, right? Okay. Before we go into the computer network, I am just giving a brief introduction and then I will stop. See, now imagine this is me. Okay. And this is my friend. So we both are in the same room. Okay. We both are in the same room and I will call his name. Hi Madhu. And he will also call my name. Hi Mithun. Then we both can interact with one another. And I can convey any message to him. Hey Madhu, get me some water. Or he can also say anything to me and I will help him. This is possible only when both of us in the same room. Please note this point. Suppose if my friend is not in my home and he is in his native, which is Mangalore. Okay, so he is from Mangalore and I am from Bangalore. Now, if I say, if I keep shouting, Madhu, get me something, will it reach? No. Okay, now one more step. I will try to use a mobile. Now, to my mobile number, if I say, reach Madhu, will it reach? No. Why? It will reach at what condition? Only if I have stored Madhu with some number like this 9999 like this. If I have stored his number like this, only then it will reach the network tower, right? So let me write here. So it will reach the network tower. So it will be like this. So first it will sorry. So first it will connect to my mobile network tower, nearby network tower, and from here it will reach. Obviously it may hit the satellite other things. I'm not aware of, I mean, how mobile communication works. It is not my cup of tea, but as per my understanding, this is what happens in the back end. And this may transfer to some satellite, and this satellite from it may reach here, and from here it will reach my friend's mobile, and then he will answer, isn't it? So this is the entire process which will happen. You're getting the point? You got it right? Yes or no? So similarly, if two computer devices, if they want to exchange some information, then they have to be connected together like this in sort of a cable. And that is one point. And the another point is, like, we use mobile number to identify unique persons. Similarly, these computing devices make use of some unique number, and that number is known as IP address. Please note this point. And that number is known as IP address. IP means Internet Protocol. So IP is the abbreviation for Internet Protocol. Clear? Any doubt, guys? And this Internet Protocol IP address will be on the form A.B.C.D. That means it will be like 1.2.3.4. If you don't believe me, you can all go to your search button and type CMD and hit enter, and just type ipconfig ipconfig. You will all get the IP address. So every system requires a IP address, without which it is highly impossible. So as you can see here in the output, my laptop is assigned the address of 192.168.56.1. Okay, and for wireless, so now I am using wireless. So the wireless, it is assigned address of 192.168.0.110. So this is the IP address. Clear? So these IP address are required to exchange any information between one another, and in this case one requesting, so the server requesting becomes the client, and the another computer which is serving the request becomes a server. So that is what they have mentioned here. So this is a client and the web server, I mean this is a client and this is the web server. You are getting it? Okay, so I'm going to share this document, and I'm going to stop the lecture here because I don't want to continue. So from tomorrow it is going to be more of a technical based, and we are going to explore more on IP addresses, how IP addresses work. Okay, how the IP was born. So all those things we are going to explore it tomorrow, and don't miss the tomorrow's class. Okay, clear? Okay guys, so if there are no doubts, so can I stop the recording? Okay, then I'm going to stop.